I'ma give myself one more chance. 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 Wise up, it's your brother, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son, it's your kinfolk, William Jewell. Well, and I'm giving you my detail as I'm articulating. This is articulating rap, 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 rap. How y'all doing this weekend? I hope it was successful. I hope it was prosperous. I hope you were able to elevate this weekend. I hope you were able to take your journey into an incline, right? Just like the incline press, a positive outlook towards the pains of discipline. I wrote this book. And I wrote this book to inspire others. I wrote this book to inspire the people who needed to be able to be motivated, that needed that encouragement, that needed that inspiration. So make sure that you go check it out, guyswillfitness.com. Go buy the book from me. If you don't go there, go to Amazon, listen to it on Audible, listen to it on Apple, right? Books, anywhere where you can listen to audio books. Make sure you check it out, right? Because I did that for y'all. And just thank you for being there, supporting me, and just thank you for, allowing me to grow in front of y'all eyes, allowing me to evolve. And I'm going to continue to evolve with this content with AR. But here we are right now, right? And we're at the foundation, right? We're at the starting place, right? So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going, and let's keep going up. Let's keep going forward, 10 toes down and 1 foot ahead, right? So let's talk about music. It really wasn't a lot of music that came out this weekend. No albums in particular that I feel like needed me to diagnose it, that needed me to analyze it. So we just going to talk about the singles. Quavo featuring Rich the Kid, a real one, very up-tempo, very high energy, high vibration. I like this album. I like the way they went back and forth with their lyrics and their flows. I like it. So be looking for something from Quavo coming this year. He did release Himothy a couple weeks before this track. So I can tell that something's coming. I don't know what, but that consistency that Quavo's being able to harness, even with the loss of his nephew Takeoff, I salute it, I admire it, and it's very honorable to continue to keep his name alive and continue to push through with your passions as well. Lola Brooke, shout out to the female rappers, shout out to the female artists. Bend It Over featuring A Boogie and Big Frida, kind of got that Louisiana bounce, Louisiana bop. So it's kind of got the formula for success. I wouldn't see it not being a good record just because it should be great because it has the formula. So all it has to do is do the numbers, and I think it will. So shout out Lola Brooks, shout out New York, you know what I'm saying? Then we go to Detroit, the Midwest, Babyface Ray, Money on My Mind, and that piano and the production was crazy. It touched my heart, but at the same time, it made me want to hustle. It made me want to grind. And Babyface, that's one of my new artists that I really got into a couple years ago when I heard Mob. So I like this, and I want to hear more from him. I hope he drops a project this year. So salute to Babyface, and make sure y'all check out Kenny Mason jumping in, right? Jumping in, it caught my attention. He's more unknown to some. I heard him through JID. So Kenny Mason, I'm sure he's not as familiar to y'all as he is to me, because sometimes I can go into the alternative bag. But check it out. He dropped a new single called Jumping In. He got a song with a little bit of rock called Us that's supposed to be on this new EP. So check that out. And speaking of EP, I heard that 4 Bats has signed the EP deal with OVO. I believe that Drake's stewardship will help him and guide him in a way that he can have success. But I know that Drake is putting his arm over this guy because he wants to sink his teeth in his creativity. He wants to suck all the blood out of his energy, his enthusiasm, his spark, his newness, his vibe. Because we know that Drake does this with a lot of artists. And in the same breath, Drake has uplifted the careers of so many artists because of that care package, because of that stimulus that he gives them when he gets on the feature, because of the notoriety that comes with his name. He's a star and he cannot be denied. Right? Drake is great. And I can't deny that. Right? But I don't have to agree with how he carries himself. I don't have to agree with the pettiness. I don't have to agree with the corniness. I don't have to agree with the sassiness and the light-skinned ways, unfortunately, right? But I can say that Drake is respectable. He's commendable. He's done so much for Baby and Lil Wayne. He's done so much for all of the artists around him. He's done so much for the rap game, for the industry, just to be able to still be existing in it at this longevity and still being able to do the numbers. So you have to salute Drake. And I gotta thank him for doing this feature with Four Bats, who's a Dallas native, who's in my neighborhood. No, I didn't hear about Four Bats. I didn't know about him. I heard the song. I didn't know who sung the song. I thought it was just one of them Little or Baby or Youngins or whatever. I thought it was one of those guys. I didn't know it was a brand new artist named Four Bats from Dallas, Texas. So blame me. I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't do my research on that song. I heard it, and now that I hear it, and now that I know that Drake wanted to do a remix, I understand why he wanted to do a remix, because it reminds me of So Far Gone Drake. It reminds me of Take Care Drake. It reminds me of singy, songy, R&B-ish type Drake. So it only made sense that he did the remix. But to give this man the pedestal, to give this man the platform, you can't help but appreciate that from Drake. You can't help but see that as admirable, right? And I like what he did on the feature, right? I do believe he added to it because he put his voice on it. I do believe he added to it because he took it serious. He gave it the proper attention. He gave it lyrics. He gave it good tones, good tempos, good schemes with his patterns. I like the way he kind of flowed with his songs. He didn't just end on one syllable. He ended on other rhyme schemes. So I like what Drake did there. And it was kind of reminiscent, kind of nostalgic of that So Far Gone, that Take Care Drake. So I think Drake was needed, right? Not that he made the song any better, but he boosted this young man's career. And now his career is going to be going in a trajectory that it wasn't going to be going in before he met Drake. So no matter what you can say, whether Drake made this song better or whether this was the best Drake verse or song or whatever you want to say, Drake, he gave him some assistance. He gave him some help, right? And there's one guy that Drake doesn't want to assist. Even though 21 Savage damn near did a whole album with him, The American Dream, Metro Boomin, right? They had a little tiff. But Metro Boomin, the booming is rising. The booming is booming even more, even louder, because now him and Future have two albums that are going to be released, right? March 22nd and April the 12th. So basically 3 weeks from each other. And I know that each album will be different. I know that each album will have its own type of flavor, its own type of vibe, its own type of sound. And I believe in Metro. I believe in his production ability. Just look at the samples. Look at what he was doing with 21 Savage. Look how he made 21 Savage sound like an elite rapper just with production alone. And he has Future, one of the four horsemen, right? One of the greats of his era, one of the most talented trap artists of all time. Can give you the auto tune, can give you that melody, can give you some lyrics, can give you that toxicity. And he can rap his ass off, right? So I believe this combination is a great combination. When we look at heroes and villains and what Future did on those beats, we know what's going to be expected out of this. If 21 Savage did what he did with those Metro beats on American Dream, imagine what Future is going to do on not one but two albums. Will he sing? Will he rap? Will he be toxic? Will he be upstanding? Will he shoot at Russell Wilson and Sierra again? A long story that's even longer. That's old news, but he continues to bring it up because we know he's hurt, right? But I'm looking forward to that, right? I'm looking forward to Metro and Future, two heavyweights in this game. And speaking of heavyweights, what about Fake Paul and Mike Tyson? What do you think about that? What do you think about that boxing match, people? A 20-something-year-old versus a 57-year-old man, a man that's old enough to be my dad, probably old enough to be his grandfather. He out here fighting somebody granddaddy. And that's honor in that? No. That's not admirable. It's no honor. You don't gain anything. You get nothing from that. You don't get my respect. No matter how Mike looks on those videos, no matter how hard he looks like he's punching, no matter how fast he looks like he's moving, he gonna have to take some punches too. And he's 57-year-old, man. We can't allow him to get hurt. We can't allow him to get any more brain injuries. He's already had a great career. Mike, why are you doing this? Is it for the bag? Or is it for the bravery? Is it for the money? Or is it for the man? To prove that you still got it. To prove that you're still iron, Mike. But when iron doesn't sharpen iron anymore, and it becomes dull, who can we turn to? Mike, I don't want you to do this, but you're gonna do this for the money. I don't know why you're doing this. This is not Roy Jones, another man your age, right? But I believe this will be orchestrated, right? I believe somebody's gonna take a fall. And we know that Fake Paul is going to continue fighting after this. Mike only has to fight this one time. So even if Mike loses, he's lost before. So him losing to Fake Paul at the age of 57 won't hurt his career, won't hurt the people's image of him, because we know at the end of the day he's old. And it's Mike Tyson. So it might not hurt Jake Paul as much either if he loses. But I don't even know if this is going to happen, but it's a lot of money on the line, right? So I believe it should happen, right? If we talking about good business, I believe it should happen. But I'm scared, Mike, because I don't trust Fake Paul. I don't trust his intentions. But he knows how to get that coin. He knows how to get that bread. He knows how to promote. He's a wizard. He's a genius when it comes to content, when it comes to social media, when it comes to marketing. Jake Paul, I salute you, but in the ring, I call you Fake Paul because I don't believe you. I think you're fraudulent. I think you're an imposter. I think you're a joke. I think you set up yourself to win all of those fights. I think people dropped off that diving board and did a cannonball and took a nosedive because of the payday they were given. I don't believe you're that good. So please do not damage our legend. Please do not hurt our icon. Please. Let this man walk away with some dignity. Please have some integrity. I don't want you to pity him. I don't want you to feel sorry for him. But when you're in that ring, remember he's a 57-year-old man and he probably has grandkids. So please, Fake Paul, don't do it. And Nelly, I heard you were talking. I heard you were talking about your era of rap where the DMX and 50 Cent and Jay-Z and Eminem and Lil Wayne and T.I. and Ludacris, and you were having to compete. You said that was the hardest era, toughest era in hip-hop. I don't know if I believe that, right? It might have been the hardest era, one of the hardest eras to get on, to get seen, to be noticed. But as far as competing, right? Look at the numbers of the artists that are out today. It's songs dropping every day on SoundCloud. There's songs dropping every day on Apple streaming service. There's songs from these artists dropping every day. And although there are a lot of people that's alike, there are a lot of people that's different. Right? And the different sounds aren't garnered in high regard as they once was. The originality is not seen like it used to be. So Nelly, I don't believe you were in the toughest era. I believe you were in a golden era full of greats, full of people that were creative, full of people that were original in their sound and their approach. But it wasn't many of them. And they had to separate themselves from each other. They had to make the distinction between who is who. Every thug needs a lady, baby. And don't forget about Ja Rule, right? We can't forget about DMX. Jay, Hove, Hovey baby, Kanye, like, those are greats. Those are legends. Those are the guys that pioneered. Those are the guys who fathered some of these children in today's rap music. But I don't remember anybody ever wanting to be Nelly. I know NLE Chopper thinks he looks like him, thinks he's a pretty boy like Nelly, but nobody wants to rap like Nelly. Nobody wants to be like Murphy Lee or Saint Lunatic. Nobody wants to be repping St. Louis. So although you were in the toughest era, I don't believe, Nelly, you've made the impact that you think you have. Like, I believe that you did numbers. I believe that you are in high regard for your contribution to hip hop, but I don't believe you have any sons in this game. I don't believe you have any children. I don't believe anybody listened to Nelly and like, I want to rap just like him, because Nelly was a guy who had ghostwriters. Nelly was a Drake before Drake. Nelly was somebody who leaned on the assistance of Ali, who leaned on the assistance of Murphy Lee, who leaned on the assistance of the Saint Lunatics to be popping. But only I could rap it. Only I could look like this and do that. Okay. But you still get partial credit, Nelly. So regardless if you perform the songs, the fact that you didn't write them, right? And you talk about you were in the toughest era and you had somebody write your own songs. I don't want to hear that coming from you, right? I don't want to hear that from an old head who had to borrow bars from somebody else to be good. Yes, you had your own distinct sound, your own distinct flavor, and your own distinct look. But at the end of the day, you were borrowing. At the end of the day, you took out a loan on your 16s. On the end of the day, you took out some credit for that hook. And according to Ali, you haven't paid it back. So that's not what I want to hear from Nelly, right? But salute to that era, because I do love that era. Salute to that era. That's one of my favorite eras. Only because of the nostalgic. Only because it was when I was a child. Only because, like, it takes me back to certain moments of my life and I reminisce. And I just think about, like, how simple life was when those songs came out. But as far as logically, it's harder right now. It's more competitive right now. It's oversaturated right now. So from a number standpoint, I believe it's harder, right? I think it was harder to get your foot in the door in that late 90s, especially early 2000s era, right? Harder to get your foot in the door. But now you can make music and you can post it up. But as far as getting discovered, as far as songs taking off, as far as competing with so many other artists, I think it's more difficult now. So maybe I'm wrong in thinking like that. Maybe I'm not looking at the bigger picture of things, but that's just what makes sense to me as far as competition. You know what I'm saying? If I'm fighting against an army of 5 people, or am I fighting against an army of 50 people, right? So how, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to take more of me to distribute an attack on a bigger army than it would be on 5 other people. So I just look at it like that, right? I look at it like that. Shout out to Jason Kelce, right? Travis Kelce, Super Bowl champion for the Chiefs. Jason Kelce, who's also a Super Bowl champion for the Eagles, he retired. One of those great centers in the game, and we don't remember many offensive linemen's names. We don't remember many offensive linemen with the personality of Jason Kelce. We don't remember that leadership from many offensive linemen. But not only did Jason Kelce retire, but Fletcher Cox retired as well, the defensive tackle, number 91. I remember when he came out of Mississippi State, Fletcher Cox, also a Super Bowl champion. But I did not like that suit that he wore last year's Super Bowl when they played the Chiefs. That was very shiny, very sassy, and was very sus. Right? I did not like that suit, Fletcher Cox. But your career, what you did in those trenches as a tackle, defensive tackle at that, right? You're a legend. These are both Hall of Famers to me. And the game took a major loss with these guys going out, right? The Eagles took a major loss with these guys retiring. And I hope their jerseys will be retired at Lincoln Financial Field. I hope their contributions will be recognized. But I wonder what that locker room will be like once they're gone. I wonder, will Jalen Hurts be able to be the leader that he's supposed to be with those guys, with those cornerstones gone? I wonder what the Eagles will be able to do. Will they be able to make a playoff push? Because sometimes it's not just the players in the locker room. Sometimes it's not just what the depth chart says. It's about the heart. It's about the culture. It's about the tenacity. It's about the passion, the love of the game that you got to go out there every day in practice and on Sunday. And you got to perform when the spotlight's on you, when everybody's counting on you. So I believe with these cornerstones gone, and it seemed like the Eagles locker room was already disturbed, will this create more turmoil, or will this open up a lane for Jalen Hurts to be able to take the horse by the reins and really lead the Eagles like he needs to lead them? And I also saw that another horse got led to water by a cougar named Draya, right? He got led to water and he did drink. Isn't that right, Jalen Green? So Draya announces her pregnancy. She's 39 years old and Jalen Green is 22. Right? They're saying she's a predator and she's stalking her prey. She's stalking these young men with money. She's stalking a grown man who can make his own decisions. Ain't that what he told his mama? Ain't that what he told his daddy? This is my life. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to take that responsibility, right? And mama and daddy can't tell you nothing if you're making millions of dollars. If you paying their bills, what mama and daddy gonna tell you? So yeah, I'm going to be able to screw who I want to screw. I'm going to put a baby in whoever I want to put a baby in because I got bread. I got money. I can afford to do these things. And I believe that Draya, headmaster, dean of the Cougar Academy, struck big with a donor. You know, it's okay to have these relationships with these older women, right? And people are getting on Draya, but I want to get on the man. Right, I want to get on the youngin because this is a teaching point to all my youngins that are looking in. Right, because this lady is 17 years older than him, and she has a son his age, so practically she's old enough to be his mom. Right, and when you get with the cougar, when it's just fun, when you're just fucking, when you're just having a good time, and she's teaching you these new positions, and she's teaching you these new stroking methods, and she's teaching you some of this cunnilingus and how to maneuver your body during the intercourse, when she's teaching you how to be a little bit more cleanly, when she's teaching you how to manage your books, how to manage your bills, how to dress, how to look, what type of cologne to wear, what ladies find attractive, when she's giving you this game and this education, you absorb it. You take it in and you appreciate it. But you should not be that appreciative where you give her a seed, right? Because you have to think about the longevity. You have to think about the bigger picture, my younger brothers. Because you're 22 now. When you become 32, she's going to be almost in her 50s. And so she's at a different point in her life. She's seeing life from a different view. And although you will learn because of that, she will be frustrated with you for not seeing it how she sees it, right? And you will be frustrated with her because you're young. You're still enjoying life. You're still learning. You're still doing things to know, to have experience. And she's experienced it all. And so it's going to be that push and pull, right? And that's why a lot of people say with these older women or with these older men, right, they don't have much to conversate about. They don't have much in common. So once the flare of the sexual attraction is gone, then sometimes there's nothing left to, put food on the table. There's no more bread to be broke. There's no more education to give. And even if she has knowledge and wisdom to give you, you might not even want to take it, because it'll be like your mama nagging. It'll be like your mama trying to tell you what to do. So I believe Draya, she's not the only one to blame, right? I believe this is a 50-50 thing. I believe both people are culpable in this situation, and both the people are adults and they can handle it like adults. I mean, who are we to tell them, right? It's just my perspective. It's just my thought process based on my experience, right? And, maybe she did do some things knowingly. Maybe she did try to get him trapped. Maybe she did. Right. But at the end of the day, as a man, we got different responsibilities. There is a different standard for a man. And it's not to be gullible. And it's always to be at attention. It's always to be focused. And when you get caught lacking, when you get caught slipping, when you fall in love, and when you getting up in that poo nanny and it's all good and you're not even thinking about what's going to happen next, then I believe it's your fault. No one can rescue you, young man. No one can save you. You made this decision, right? You made the decision not to wear a rubber. You made the decision to nut in. All she did was sit there. She good. She know you got money. She not worried, right? So I put it on Jalen Green. I don't put it on Draya. So I mean, y'all take from that what y'all want to take from that. Cougar Academy has received its first platinum donor, Jalen Green. I know there will be another youngin that will be up next, because sometimes when these trends happen with these celebrities and these popular people, then they continue to happen, because you're seeing more younger guys with these older women. And I don't see nothing wrong with it, because it's some value in being with the older woman, especially a beautiful woman that has wisdom and that has knowledge. But don't get taken advantage of, right? Don't get taken advantage of, and don't get played like a dummy. So congratulations to both of them. I hope that y'all have a healthy child. I hope that the world and that social media won't continue to, put Draya down and look at Jalen Green in a certain light because of this, because he's no victim. He's a grown man. I don't think he's even said anything. He's just been on the court playing ball, just talking with his playing. So salute to both of them. Congrats to both of them. This says William Jewell. Well. And listen to my details as I'm articulating. This is articulating. Rap.